Pizza presents STP. The Steve Dangle Podcast with your hosts, Steve Dangle and Adam Wilde.
Well, happy St. Patrick's Day to you.
Oh, yes.
Well, although when you listen to this, it likely won't be St. Patrick's Day at all.
No.
You might be drunk, driving in a taxi home from the bar. A lot of people listen to us in the car.
Hey, sticks the landing. Okay. Good job.
Hey, there was
we'll
a
go
speed
ahead and
bump.
give him a 6. Oh, my goodness.
Or maybe it's tomorrow and you're hungover. Maybe it's tomorrow and you're hungover.
This is St. Patrick's Day on a Thursday is just a bad combination.
Sure is. Tomorrow. Next year.
This is a great start to the show, everyone.
Next year, it'll be on a Friday.
That's pretty bad, too.
Yeah, no, at least then you won't have to fake calling in sick. I mean,
That's true.
That's important. Important.
On days like this, I just think about our dear friend who's a police officer.
Yeah. And our dear friend who works at. God, this is just. I'm really tired, man. I can't.
Here. Adam has a copy there. Here, take mine.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
I have
I'll
a
be
dear
fine.
friend who works at the Tilted Kilt, so I feel for her.
Oh, she's gonna wear those horrible freaking outfits.
Yeah.
Man,
It's not going to be a good night.
and also, not only that, the ambulance. We have someone who's a paramedic. That's what I was trying to say earlier.
How did the ambulance?
They work for the ambulance itself, the
Sorry.
truck. That one truck that they have.
Adam's intro didn't go so well. So if you're drunk in a taxi on the way home or, hosting a podcast.
Yes, that's right. And you know what's funny? I brought beers to work today. I brought 8 of them.
Why'd you do that?
One was consumed. Well, it's St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, fair enough.
And I thought that it would be fun, whatever.
Where's mine?
Yeah. Well, it's in the fridge if you want it. I just figured, with the fact that you had coffee, I wouldn't want to throw off your game, but, And I didn't. Imagine if I drank a beer at this point.
Yeah, that would be pretty rough.
Thanks, Jesse. Jesse's writing profanity-laced things on pieces of paper that will end up on the podcast video. Thank you, Jesse.
No one can see that.
People will be able to see that.
Good for them.
I wouldn't. Okay, well now they're definitely going to be able to see
there.
it.
It's there now.
I'm sure they like it.
He wrote about how well Connor Carrick is going to play, and also Connor Brown. Way to go, Steve. I got my Connors mixed.
His first goal against Roberto Luongo.
It's going to come.
You tweeted.
You think it's going to happen?
It hasn't happened
so
yet?
that means it's not going to happen.
No, that means it's going to happen.
No, that means you jinxed it and it's not going to happen.
Jesse.
He's going to go goalless for the first 82 games of his career now.
Whoa.
He's going to shake. First of all, he's going to get a hat trick on Luongo. I'm just going to throw that out there. And he is going to help shake the Dangle Jinx.
You know who's been a gigantic disappointment?
The beginning of the show?
Well, besides me on the beginning, let's be honest, the beginning of the show, just me, has been, he's played 10 games. He's only got 2 goals. William Nylander, huge disappointment.
You think
what
so?
What a bust. They should trade him.
Not only that, I think, is it too late to let him go back in the draft?
Yeah. You know what? They need to do that. He'd fall so many rounds. If he even got drafted, I doubt he'd get picked up.
7th round, maybe. He's only like the 3rd best Swedish prospect the Leafs got, let alone out there.
Yeah, exactly.
What a bum.
I think it has been funny reading some of the there are some, a very, very small few, who actually have tweeted such things.
Well, Adam, this is something you do, and this is something my wife does as well.
Yeah.
Is you like to dig deep down and read the dumbest stuff out there on purpose just to look at it and get mad.
I don't know why I do it.
Well, because
why do we do that?
Here's how I look at it. So you read something unbelievably stupid, and then you ask me, Steve, can you believe someone would say this? And I go, yes. Because think of all the people you know. How many of them are pretty stupid?
Well,
now multiply
the people I know,
by the amount of people in the world. Wow, is that a big number of stupid people?
That's a big number of stupid people.
So many of them have access to the internet and all kinds of things. So yeah, I believe the dumb opinions are out there.
Okay. Well, that's one of them. That's one of them. The other one was trading Connor McDavid for 7 people, which was an
actual suggestion by an NHL executive.
What?
Wasn't it?
No. It was a caller to Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Then I'm done.
Last year, yeah.
Look at us all being stupid together, folks.
No, I do have a question though, and this makes me feel strange because I feel like I might be standing on the wrong side of history when it comes to this particular debate And I feel kind of broken up about that, but I still won't change my opinion.
Okay.
I feel like this is my old man yells at cloud argument. Okay, are you ready? And I'm gonna start it with a hypothetical.
I'm
Steve,
wrong, but dag blam it, I have a feeling.
Steve,
70 to 10% of the time.
Jesse, let's pretend that we worked with Steve every single day on a radio show that lasted 5 or 6 hours.
That's a long time.
Well, like most radio shows are 4 to 6 hours,
Yeah,
whatever.
okay.
So we're with each other a lot.
You'd stab me in the neck.
And during that time, as you know, because we work together, it's a very intimate setting, right? You're 2 or 3 people in a room. You got to be entertaining every day, all the time. Not exactly easy. Whether your dog is dying, you just went through a breakup, you're on top of it. Like all of it has happened, right? All of it has happened while I've been on the air. So
we got dark for a second.
That was very dark.
How would you feel, Jesse, if Steve brought Iggy to work every single day?
Every day would be a little much. Once in a while, that's cool, but not every single day.
Not every single day.
We are not your babysitter of your dog.
Right. And we
Sorry,
love
Steve.
Iggy. We love Iggy.
Yeah.
But bringing the dog every single day, because the dog's probably going to get sick. It's probably going to pass some wicked, disgusting gas in the studio because that's what dogs do.
Probably
they have the
poop.
worst smelling farts. It's going to poop.
Yeah.
And someone's going to take it out throughout the show.
Mostly if you feed him cheese.
Oh, yeah. See? Cheese.
Or
there you
dump
go.
Parmesan in your laptop.
Have you tried the canine? Have you tried the canine cannon?
Yes, he loves it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So
That's
For those of you who listened to the last show, Jesse got me a giant tennis ball gun that I fired at my dog's face,
Also,
and he loves it.
getting anybody a fake gun, a Nerf gun or whatever, for guys like us, that's an instant win. If I got a Nerf gun every birthday and Christmas for the rest of my life, I'd be okay with it.
I know what I'm getting at him for his birthday.
There you go.
Just get, yeah.
See, that's what we
especially
call a
today's
hint.
Nerf guns.
Yeah.
And
Oh
today's
my
water
goodness.
guns are amazing. Where were those? We had those like XP 150 things. What the hell was that?
I had a Super Soaker 65. And what's great is watching the Super Soakers progression, because they clearly didn't think it out, like in terms of the longevity with the numbers. So I was at Super Soaker 65.
I had the 150 that was the yellow and green one.
And now it's
OG?
kids are wearing backpacks full of water to kill their brothers and sisters.
It's like literally, there's like engines built into some of these things. It's unbelievable, and they're standing out there like Arnold Schwarzenegger in freaking Predator, and like killing their friends on the front lawn. And we had these dinky, rinky ass little guns, and
just filled with kerosene here and light here.
Question: would Arnold Schwarzenegger make a better president than Donald Trump?
Yes.
He's already Well, Californians, don't kill us on this one. He was a governor. I won't say how he did as a governor because I don't really know.
Arnold
California still
Schwarzenegger
exists. It didn't blow up, so we're going to assume that's okay.
I haven't seen him do it, but I'm sure Schwarzenegger would do a better job of selling a Stone Cold Stunner.
True.
Which Trump
Very
did
true.
a terrible job of doing in his brief stint in the WWE. By the way, presidential candidate got stunnered. Take from that what you will.
But let's get back to the original question.
Yes.
Steve bringing Iggy to work every single day. That would get a little annoying.
A little tiring, a little taxing.
I look at this, and this is not a hockey story, but who cares? It's a good sports story.
It's a great sports story. It could happen in hockey. I'm
Adam
sure it has.
LaRoche has had a great professional career. So great that he's worth $13 million a year at 36 years old.
See, worth is...
Well, he's getting paid.
Is
Yeah.
the subjective
Yeah,
term.
he was probably worth that when he played for Pittsburgh, but I don't think he's worth that anymore.
No.
Okay? Doesn't matter, though. So, Adam LaRoche has always brought his kid to everything.
Always.
All the preseason, all the games, I believe. I think he's in like the clubhouse for most of the games. I don't know if he's a bat boy or not.
It was
That part I
probably
don't know.
cute when his kid was a kid.
Right, when his kid wasn't 7, 8, 9 years old.
He's 14 now.
No, he's 14.
yeah.
He's 14. Okay.
Little Drake.
So they joke about him being, the 26th man or whatever, and that's super cool. But White Sox vice president, Kenny Williams, who, by the way, we are still upset about because he traded as Mike Soroka for David Wells, and Mike Soroka never played for the Blue Jays. Still upset about that, Chicago
Thanks,
fans.
jerk.
Kenny Williams walks down, I guess, to the clubhouse and says, listen, we have this policy where, family members, kids, stuff like that aren't even supposed to be in the clubhouse in the first place. And we're just asking to dial it back. Like, a little more than 50% because he's there 100% of the time. And it's not like your kid's a bad kid, but this is a bunch of grown men. They want to swear, they want to bond as a team, and we want to have a professional environment.
There you go.
Is that such a problem? Now, Adam LaRoche says, oh yeah? Screw you. I'm walking away. Retires. $13 million on the table. Retires.
And the team's like, oh, no. Oh, now who are we going to give this $13 million to? Oh, what a bummer. By the way, how much money did he earn in his career?
A lot. A lot. Baseball players all do. Yeah.
You know how many companies you could buy for that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
goodness. He could buy
Or
many islands for $13 million.
It's the second biggest contract anybody's ever walked away from.
What's the first?
What's the name of the Canadian baseball player? He played for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Oh,
Walker?
Jason Bay?
No. It might have been Matt Stairs. I believe it was Matt Stairs. He walked away from his final contract with the Rockies, and it was a little bit more. It was like $15 million.
Larry Walker.
No,
it wouldn't be Matt Stairs. Matt Stairs played for the Blue Jays and made like $1 million.
Maybe it was Larry Walker. It was a Canadian baseball player who walked away from like 16 mil.
Woo!
Yeah.
All right.
Funsies.
Sounds like Larry Walker.
It might have been Larry Walker, though.
Because Larry Walker was the only baseball player in Canadian history worth that kind of money, besides Joey Votto. Now,
Well, then.
And that was $16 million when Larry Walker played. That was a lot.
What was great to see was the evolution of this story on Twitter yesterday. Because the story originally broke, the White Sox wouldn't let his kid in the dressing room.
That was how it was framed. You're right.
And everyone was like, what? Screw the White Sox and screw the VP, whatever his name was.
Kenny Williams.
Sure. Screw that guy. Why does he hate children? Let's start a hashtag White Sox hate children and get that trending. And then when it came out that no, the kid was there every day. I love watching a story break, have everyone feel one way emotionally, and then details, and they go, nope, screw that guy, that's kind of weird.
Insta-switch.
Insta-switch, and that's what this guy got.
We're copywriting that, by the way. Copyright pending. Insta-switch.
Yeah.
We're doing it.
That's us. I don't know that idea is brilliant, but just in case it is, it could be worth some money someday. So let's keep it. Patent pending. But yeah, you're right. And the thing that I still don't understand about this, and it goes back to reading dumb people's opinions on the internet, and this is why I'm doubting myself, is that there are people who go, well, he's a good father. He's a good father and he's a religious man. And so Adam LaRoche's brother even posted on Twitter and said he's a good father and a good man, and he stepped away for the game so he could be a good father. Now,
Okay, fine.
Now, 14 years old. It's March. Where are you when you're 14 and it's March?
Yeah, good point. Oh, maybe March break.
Oh, maybe. But what about the rest of the other 6 weeks in training camp?
Should probably be in ski.
Probably be in school. Now, he might be homeschooled. He might be.
You would assume if his father could walk away from $13 million.
Yeah. But
Here's the school, son.
I feel
Just an empty school.
Got it for you, sir.
Yeah. Seriously. Oh, for sure. He could buy the school. But
Dad, I need the keys to the pool.
we're doing gym class again. Woo! I don't understand why, and there are many people, and this is where it gets strange, because there are people who are supposed to be experts on this subject commenting that the White Sox were most definitely in the wrong. Now, the only wrong I can see from this is the fact that Kenny Williams, the VP, went and talked to him, not Robin Ventura, the manager. The manager should have spoken to Adam LaRoche.
Maybe the manager did.
Apparently he didn't. And apparently he's upset about that.
Went a little over his head.
Yeah, Kenny Williams. And then today we find out that the White Sox almost walked out. All of them almost organized a walkout over this issue because I guess they really like Adam LaRoche.
But the White Sox didn't say, do this or get out. He just walked out of his contract.
Yes. But the White Sox players were like, and then they cussed out Kenny Williams and said, stay the F out of the dressing room or the clubhouse.
This is going to get resolved.
This is crazy. Now, am I the only person who thinks it's a little freaking weird that a 14-year-old kid is going to work with his dad every day?
No.
I think it's weird.
It's weird.
It's weird, right?
Look, by the way, okay, so let's address a couple of the things you said. One, you being insecure because people have opinions that you're pretty sure are wrong, but they are the opposite of yours. So listen to how we started this podcast. It's pretty rough. Pretty rough. And sometimes I go, gosh, we really need to step it up as a show. And then in the car on the way here, I was listening to a sports radio station, not this one, and they said so many incorrect things consecutively that I was almost impressed. Boom, boom, boom. It was at least 3 or 4, and I counted 2 sentences. And I remember just being like, I almost wanted to pull the car over and call them just for the good of their station, but it wasn't ours, so I didn't do it. So don't worry. Sometimes people are wrong, and sometimes it's aggressive.
Okay, sometimes they're aggressively wrong.
Another
now, I can be one of those people, by the way. I've been aggressively wrong.
So have I. We have done, 250 of these?
At least.
At an
maybe
hour
more.
or 2 a pop. Yes.
We're going to be wrong.
I will not sit there and say I was ever wrong about it. But
Well,
So-
Jesse's Donald
Which
Trumping
is
us right now. I mean, I know a lot about being wrong. I know wrong.
I do podcasts. I have the best podcasts.
Yeah. All these people listen to my podcast. I have the best podcast. It's a Trump brand podcast.
People stop listening to my podcast. I think bad things will happen.
I agree. Now, what were you going to say? The second thing.
I have a friend.
Okay.
My friend used to do highlights. Used to be at a sports place where they do sports. And he was commenting about how professional athletes are not well-developed people.
no.
This is a conversation that he and I have had many times. If you're really, really good at a sport, you're almost abducted, like from the time you're in your mid-teens, and you're thrown. Like, think of a hockey player. You're thrown into the OHL.
Mid-teens, man. Are you kidding me? 9 or
16.
10 years old.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, okay. So there was all that crazy AAA and rep and whatever getting, sent to all these crazy tournaments. But even, your parents are still there for the most part. When you're 16, OHL, guess what? You're on a bus, and it's the blind leading the blind. It's 20-year-olds leading 16-year-olds.
And you never live at home again.
And you basically never live at home again. You know why? Because at the end of it all, you're given millions of dollars. And then you retire, and it's kind of like, well, but how come you're letting me off the ride? I didn't think the ride ever stopped.
Right.
What are you doing? They're not the most well-developed people all the time. And my friend remarked about this, and he remarked about it out loud. And the person he was telling the story to gave him a very funny look, which made my friend turn around. And that is when he saw a former professional athlete.
Which tend to frequent places that do sports when their careers are over.
In fact, it was a baseball player. And my friend said, "I'm fired, aren't I?" And the person responded, No, you're absolutely right. It's weird.
It is weird.
It's weird. And you know what? Okay, good guy, whatever. Good father.
Believes
fine.
in Jesus, cool. I mean, this is what kills me, is that they make this about a religious thing, and it's not a religious thing.
No.
This is a professional courtesy thing and a professionalism thing.
I pay you millions and millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. My team pays millions of dollars. That makes Adam laugh so hard. And by the sounds Jesse made, because I don't know much about this gentleman, it sounds like he's pretty lucky to be making that money.
Well, he earned it, but not anymore.
Yeah.
Sounds like he's pretty lucky to be making that money.
It's Batista at 41 making $25 million a year.
All I'm asking you to do is purchase a babysitter. Or an Xbox. Or a PlayStation 4.
Or go to school. Go to school.
Make some friends.
You don't even need a babysitter. There's teachers.
Can I throw something out there? Maybe he wanted to retire.
I think he did. Why would you walk away from that?
There's the little theory that, hey, Adam, maybe you could just leave, and then if we find some excuse, would you just give us back $13 million? And then, hey, we'll just pay you that on the side? So maybe.
So are you suggesting that happens in professional sport? Are you suggesting that happens in
Where's
professional
Stefan Robida these days anyway?
Adam, how dare you? How dare you? The cheek. The nerve. Leave my
you know
friend
what?
Adam
That's
Wild.
a good point,
My
Jesse.
ex-friend Adam
LaRoche
Wild.
is getting a paycheck to sit at home.
Yeah, but then idiots like us are left scratching our heads when idiots on the internet are going, well, the man loves Jesus. Let him play some baseball with his kid. Like, what?
Yeah.
That's not what they're doing. God, kids cannot go to work with adults every day.
Jesus got to bring his 14-year-old son to work every day. Why can't this man? He's a man of God.
Now we're blaspheming, okay? Now we're blaspheming.
So should little Drake.
Are you for it or against it?
I'm against it. God's against it.
If you got any sense, you're against it. You should be for taking your 14-year-old to work and not against it.
So, Steve,
Yes.
if Adam LaRoche brought little Drake to the clubhouse for the last 5 years, shouldn't he be allowed to keep him there? Why all of a sudden can he not come?
Because I feel like it and I pay you.
That's fair.
Yes. And if you
fair.
don't like that, go be retired and rich.
Which he
What a
chose
bummer.
to do.
Yeah, good.
Well, there we go.
I don't get it.
I think we solved it.
I don't get it.
Okay.
It's all right.
All
It's
right,
a
well,
weird story. I have a hard time believing, though, that he was just like, well, you know what? I'm just walking away and leaving all these
It would stand to reason.
island in the Caribbean.
It would stand to reason, Jesse. And I'm so glad that I'm not alone. Because I will tell you this, my biggest fear
You're never
was me walking in here and you guys disagreeing with me on this one, because then I would have been like, I'm totally sunk here. I'm a total idiot.
You're on the wrong side of Jesus.
Well, that happens every day in my life, so that's nothing new. But
I'm just more surprised that you're against it.
I'm against it. I'm against it.
I can't believe you're against it.
I am surprised at how these things tend to pop up and they completely take over. This is a small nothing event that's blown up into a international freaking story.
If we find out there is a legitimate reason to be for it or against it, I'll be for it or against it. If
Agreed.
there is a reason his 14-year-old has to be there, I'm for it. But until that day, I'm against it.
And when we come back on Sportsnet 590 The Fan, speaking of kids, are you for
Caillou, don't say Caillou.
Are you for or again Connor Brown?
Oh, I'm for it.
Well, we're going to talk about Connor Brown, his Leafs debut, and the Marlies and their playoff ambitions, because there's been some weird stuff happening with the Marlies lately. Steve was at Marlies practice today. That'll be next on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. I want to read a stat that, as far as I could check, is completely correct, and it's actually from one of our listeners.
Are there percentages involved?
Yeah, there is not percentages. It's just names. So don't worry.
no
Don't worry.
worries.
There was a little bit of counting, but I can do this.
Math
If it was
is already
counting
involved.
less than 20, I can still do that.
Very scared.
His name is Brian Stewart at BrigStew86 on Twitter. And he said, the Detroit Red Wings hold the most career debuts on one team in one season. Basically, both players playing their first NHL game. How many players on the 90-91 Detroit Red Wings played their first game in the NHL?
Okay, Connor Brown just became the 10th.
No, I'm
the
asking
Leafs.
for the... Yeah, but
No,
I'm asking
I know.
Oh,
And I'm saying 10 seems like a lot.
it's a lot.
For the Red Wings, I'm going to go
see what you're
with...
doing.
By the way, it's amazing to think of a time when the Red Wings had to do that.
Isn't it? That's how in shambles they were for a long time. The Dead Wings.
We were 3. The last time the Red Wings were in this position, we were 3.
Yeah.
Jesse was not.
Jesse didn't exist.
I was unborn.
Yeah. Jesse was a plan in a far off, distant future.
I'm going to go with a dirty dozen, 12.
Jesse.
12 was my guess, but I'm going to go with 13.
Oh, Price is right.
And Jesse Blake is right. 13. Now let me...
Yes.
Can we just marvel?
Jesse never guesses anything on the show, and
I
he
know.
gets it right first try.
That's because he's Jesse, obviously.
Avi. Yeah.
I just want to marvel at that number. 13 players playing their first game. Think about that. That is more than 4 lines. 4 lines of forwards. That's
crazy.
4 lines plus 1.
That's 4 lines and a plug.
Yeah. Yeah. That's unbelievable. But the Leafs, 10 is a lot too.
10 is a lot. And supposedly Brown, I think the number was he's the 42nd Leaf, 42nd player to play for the Leafs this season.
Wow.
Absolutely
I
unbelievable.
wonder where they're at in terms of records that way. Like, that's got to be up there too,
Man,
right?
Like in recent years, the Leafs have just been a turnstile in recent years. It's unbelievable. But here's how I know things are going well. Despite the fact that I just looked up at the TV and saw the Leafs got scored on. Here's how I know things are going well. So there have been some benefactors recently of the Leafs basically going, all right, throwing you out there, let's see what you got. Martin Marincin, who's a young defenseman, his contract is up. Who else? Nikita Soshnikov, been getting first-line minutes. Zach Hyman's been seeing a lot of special teams time. William Nylander is getting a good shot. Connor Carrick. Those are all very young guys. The last time I remember this happening is when Ron Wilson was fired and they brought Randy Carlyle on board, and two guys who never play over 20 minutes a game were getting over 20 minutes a game. And that is when Carlyle went, all right, Joey Crabb and Dave Steckel, show us your stuff. Do you remember first line winger Joey Crabb?
I do.
And first line center Dave Steckel?
I remember top minute consumer Jay McClement as well.
Oh! Getting
All the minutes.
All the minutes. All the defensive zone starts. What's up, Nas? Oh, you're still here? Sure, you can get a shift. Oh, yeah. That's how things are going, though. Like, so tons of players are playing. They're in last place.
Sorry.
But no, it's going in the right direction.
Here are the players that have started and played their first game with the Leafs this year, just in case you want a refresher. Connor Brown tonight.
Yes.
Renat Valiev, Garrett Sparks, Soshnikov, Nylander, Louvre, Leipzig, Kapanen, Hyman, Fraze, and Brown, who I already mentioned. So that's 11. I have written down twice.
It's like it's easy to forget.
Oh, yeah, Byron Fraze, right.
Unbelievable.
And also, I think it's also important to note that we could not pronounce Leipzig up until he was really called up. I mean, at the beginning of the season, this show we called him Lipstick and all the other things.
Listen, I asked the guy, and he said his name was Leipzig.
I know we can't really talk about Connor Brown's debut tonight because obviously when we record this show, the Panthers-Leafs game is happening right as we speak, as Steve mentioned. But I do want to ask, first off, how many guys get to make their debut when you're a right winger on the top line of an NHL team?
Is he debuting on the top line?
Debuted on the top line tonight.
Wow.
Who gets to debut on the top line wearing his childhood idol's number?
That's right. So number
16.
Because
Darcy Tucker.
And Darcy tweeted,
good luck, kid.
No, he tweeted how proud he was.
Along those lines.
He was very proud that Connor Brown was wearing his number.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that cool?
Listen, man, you asked me enough questions. I'm going to get one wrong.
Well, that's true.
Heavens to Betsy.
How does Connor Brown, though, Steve, fit into this organization as a whole? Because we've heard a lot about Connor Brown last year because he was the bright spot, right?
Marley's leading scorer as a rookie.
There were several others, and then Leipzig coming over was cool, and there was some,
But we didn't know that yet, really.
We didn't know. But Connor Brown, I was like, whoa, wow. And then we don't hear a lot about him this year because he was injured.
Yep.
Where does Connor Brown project? What do you see? What do you think? Because Babcock did say today, he said he's going to be a good player for a long, long time in this league.
Well, you know what he's probably going to get?
An opportunity?
Opportunity.
That's right.
He's going to get a good opportunity. Yeah, he's a really good kid. I have a hard time believing he'll end up being a number one winger or a top line winger in the NHL. Just because, some people are anointed as that. They have royal blood, so to speak. Mm-hmm. William Nylander, I would say, has that. And you would expect him to...
He's a Lannister. He's a
Lannister.
He's got the name. He's got the family name.
If you say William Nylander is going to be a top-line forward in this league, most Leaf fans would go, I hope so.
Yeah, okay.
He better be. He's a top 10 pick. He better be.
Mm-hmm.
Connor Brown, I think, was a 6th-round pick. Notoriously a minus 72 in his draft year, which plus minus, LOL.
Who cares?
LOL. And then he played with Connor McDavid, and weirdly it got better. I think second or third line would be pretty nice. Second line, actually. Second. Scoring. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And he's put on some size. like the Leafs wanted. But again,
Isn't Patrick Sharp a second line winger? Wasn't he in Chicago?
he's been all over the place. Yeah,
Yeah, like what I
top-
mean. So that's what I mean is that doesn't mean it's a bad thing.
No,
Remember that.
definitely not. I mean, he makes a lot of money.
He does and scores a lot.
He does make some coin. He, at times this season, has made Jamie Benn the third highest paid guy on his line, which is
Wow.
just awesome.
Crazy.
Sharp, second Ben. Brown, I mean, I guess we're about to find out, And it was interesting. It's interesting, how people have said the Leafs are just so guarded and won't say anything. They've actually been very clear in a few things. And one thing was something Babcock said today. He was asked about Zach Hyman's performance. And he goes, well, he's done a really good job of getting in there, getting the puck, and giving it to Nylander. Like, that's a very clear and defined role that he's given Zach Hyman right there. He's not expecting him to snipe it, set up wicked plays. He's going in there and he's retrieving the puck. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily a chip and chase kind of Dave Bolin, type of guy. But he knows his role. And it's to get the puck to Nylander, like that Hey Arnold episode. Pass it to Tucker. Please tell me people get a Hey Arnold reference.
Yes,
Oh my God.
I get it.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. And ironically,
Wearing Tucker's number.
But is Connor Brown a Tucker? And I'm not even referring to Darcy. I'm referring to the Hey Arnold character.
I don't know.
Coach's
and
name.
that's what I want to know.
We'll find out. Like, he would be... I just have a hard time believing a 6th round pick that the Leafs made is going to be a star in the NHL.
But Steve said
Yeah, but not Leaf picks. Are the Leafs allowed to have a good 6th round pick is what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. But what about Leo Conrad? All right, guys.
Right, true.
Guys. That's all I'm saying.
It's
not allowed.
interesting that you bring up royal blood in the NHL because there are some names, and this happens in music a lot too. We notice this in with a lot of music where artists that are prone to putting out great music put out a bad song and it still goes to number one because the name
pretend
sells
to
it.
tap to it.
Yeah, like when Bon Jovi released the first of his several country albums, it was awful. But Bon Jovi fans bought it in droves and went to his concert in droves. So they thought, well, we're doing great. Let's keep doing it. Let's do another country album. Who says you can't go home? Am I right? Yeah. And everybody else who knows what's up is like, okay, they're doing that because it's a formula and country music still sells.
I'll give you a good example. Or Jesse, do you have something to say?
Any Eminem song starting with Not Afraid? Ooh. Any Not Afraid and Post.
From Not Afraid onward?
Dude, does that include Love the Way You Lie? Because I hate that song.
Okay.
Hate's a strong word. Dislike that song strongly.
Mm-hmm. Eminem is a case study we could dedicate an entire podcast.
For sure.
I'll give you a good example of royal blood, I think. And I've only thought of this concept right now, but go with me here. You know who had similar career stats, like for most of their career? I would say good chunk of it, maybe half. Jonathan Bernier and James Reimer. Okay? It's roughly the same age, roughly the same numbers, in roughly the same starts. One was James Reimer, the other, Jonathan Bernier of Royal Blood. He was a first-round pick. He was anointed the next one.
He was played behind quick.
Oh, they were sick to their stomachs to trade him.
I bet that's what they told Dave Nonis.
Oh, I bet.
As they accepted a second rounder and Matt Fratton. Oh, real sick to their stomach.
But it didn't matter what James Reimer had done in his career. Bernier had the royal blood. He also outperformed him for a stretch. Mm-hmm. Admittedly.
100%.
But he had that royal blood, and Babcock came in and said, off with all your heads. I don't care.
Well, the reason I bring that up is Martin Marincin.
Not of royal blood.
Not of royal blood. And a lot of advanced stats people will tell you he has elite numbers.
Yeah, he's so interesting.
And there's a lot of people listening to this show going, "You're kidding me, right?" But he does.
I'm with you. I get the you're kidding.
But
I also get the, he's again, I like the comparison. He's 2016's version of a shutdown defenseman. He makes it really hard to enter the zone. He also kind of sinks with the puck. Like let's be honest. It's for such a good possession player, he's not good at possessing. Isn't that weird?
Very strange.
Which kind of makes him a perfect partner for Riley.
Yes, who wants to possess it all the time.
And should. It's very strange.
I think that's interesting. Like, because if you, and it's funny because I was reading an article from Edmonton about
they just hate him because he's not an Oiler anymore.
No, well, here's what was interesting about it is they didn't. It was, should the Oilers have kept Marincin and passed on Reinhart? And every single comment underneath this article, and I forget who it was from, I apologize, every single one said, yeah.
No, because they gave up a fair chunk for Reinhart. I'm trying to remember what it was. Something about a first rounder. I think it was a first rounder plus, or maybe it was just the first rounder. It's still a hefty price for Reinhart.
And Marincin has better numbers on a worse team.
Yeah. And all he cost was, I believe, a fourth rounder and Brad Ross. Which, how did the Leafs get them to take Brad Ross is my question.
Well, they needed probably a contract off the books. That's probably what it was. It was contract for contract. It was a number thing.
The Leafs have been so good with that. And they're going to put it to good use, I hope.
We got the opportunity.
We got a month and a half. The countdown is on until Nikita Zaitsev is a Leaf. Allegedly.
Well, and that's... I just think it's very, very interesting that you have, a guy like Nikita Zaitsev. So, okay, Nikita Zaitsev comes in here, hailed as one of the top 3 defensemen in the KHL, if not the top.
A good one.
Yeah. Really good defenseman. You tell Toronto fans that he's playing top line minutes with Riley, they're like, well, that's good.
I get it.
But you tell Toronto fans that Marincin is playing top line minutes, like, so this is why the Leafs always lose. But you probably would make the argument that Marincin, he might be for that role. I'm not saying he's a better defenseman overall. I'm saying for that role, playing next to Riley, maybe he's the better guy.
I'm going to go with both Marincin haters and Marincin lovers are wrong. They're both kind of wrong. I don't think he's as good as the analytics crowd says he is, obviously. And I don't think he's as bad as the haters say. Every time he does something great, they go, look at him! Hey, isn't this great? Every time he does something bad, look at that guy. And you know what? There are examples to point at.
The thing is, Marincin rarely does anything great.
No, but he also rarely does anything bad. He's had a couple spectacular number 1 hits.
But that's the point, and I'm backing you up on that one, right? He's not spectacular at all.
Here's the word, useful. He's useful. I don't want useful. Well, sorry. I want useful. Competent bum, I believe is the term that we use. Competent bum. I like useful. In a first line role, even a top 4 role, I want good. I want really good. I want actively good, not passively good. Not just kind of useful. I'll take him on my team. I'll gladly take him on my team, especially at the right price, which I'm sure he'll be at. But don't go telling me he's incredible. He's Bobby Orr, or he's Scott Stevens. He's Martin Marincin, which is fine. I think everyone needs to let him be Martin Marincin.
This is fine.
This is fine. Yes. Now, but I was thinking, okay, so we got Riley, we got Gardner, we got Marincin, who's I think we agree is going to stick around.
Yep.
We got Frank Corrado, we got Matt Hunwick, who's got another year on his deal,
which is the most affordable deal, and it seemed like. I mean, anybody that made the argument for the Phaneuf pump and dump to Ottawa has some pretty good evidence to back it up, whether you believe that or not. I don't fully believe that. I actually do think that Dion in the right role is very, very good. But all the same, there are people that believe that. It almost looked like they were kind of doing the same with Matt Hunwick.
You think?
Or it was just, did they not have anyone else? Because he was playing with Riley. Their numbers were not great defensively.
I didn't understand why Hunwick was given such a huge role. Especially in the first part of the season.
I think it was the case of you don't have anybody else.
Yeah. Let's go with that. So anyway, then we add Zaitsev to that mix. How does a Renat Valiev get in the lineup? How does a Victor Louvre get in the lineup? How does a Stuart Percy get in the lineup? And I was thinking about him recently too. There's a first-round pick. He looks so good at the beginning of last season. He does have royal blood. He's a first-round pick. Well, okay, yeah. Royal is like top half.
I know. I just feel like there are players that are even drafted in the second round that have royal blood that maybe don't deserve it. But there are players. It's some sort of thing. Sometimes people just crown people before they really deserve it.
But
you know what I mean?
Some of those guys you even named can benefit from another year in the Marlies. Like how Valiev's 20.
Valiev's young.
Spend another year with the Marlies. Carrick, 21. Corrado, 22. Those guys can benefit.
I think
from
Corrado's in the lineup. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I think Corrado's in the NHL next year, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
And a Corrado can't be sent down unless you waive him, in which case Jim Benning would be all over that.
Unless they started the season.
No,
AHL.
I think he's on a one-way.
Complicated AHL stuff aside.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I think he's going to make the Leafs.
Yeah, I think so too.
So there's still some very interesting choices to be made. So I was kind of wishy-washy on your question, where's Connor Brown going to end up? Dude, I don't know where anyone's going to end up. I don't know what line Nylander is going to be on. I don't even know what position he's going to play. I don't know if he's going to be a winger, center, or what. Hell, I don't know if he's going to be a Leaf the way this organization is run. You never know, man. Mm-hmm. Could get dealt. I really, really highly doubt it, but you never know.
Yeah. Which brings us actually to our next topic, which is the NHL expansion draft. Now, I'm going to read the rules out to you and compare and contrast to the year 2000. And I've only got a couple minutes left on the radio here, so you got to let me do that. And then if you're listening on the radio portion, download it at sportsnet.ca to hear the rest of the take. But what you need to know is that if there is an NHL expansion draft, there's a team added to the NHL, let's say it's Las Vegas, just for fun. It's Las Vegas. The league needs to give the teams a 1-year heads up. They have to give them a 1-year heads up.
And we'll know before the draft.
That's right. And also, the team can now protect 1 goalie, 7 forwards, and 3 defensemen, or 1 goalie and 8 skaters of any type.
Read that again.
So it's 1 goalie, 7 forwards, 3 defensemen, or 1 goalie, 8 skaters of any stripe.
Interesting. Okay, so you can... Interesting. I mean, why wouldn't you go with 1-7-3?
I don't know either. I don't know why you wouldn't do it.
Why would you be like, no, I want to protect 2 fewer players, unless you hate your team?
You might have 4 defensemen you want to protect.
Yeah.
You might.
You might.
Interesting. Very interesting.
It means that, though, and the other thing you need to know is that no team can be taken from more than once.
Yes.
So once they pick a player from your team, you're good.
And
done.
any player who's played fewer than 3 years cannot be picked.
That's right.
But
that means ECHL and AHL as well. So if you're in your 3rd year at the AHL level, you can still be taken.
It's professional experience, yeah.
So that's interesting.
So it's under 3.
Yeah,
under 3, yeah. So 2 years, you're safe.
Once you hit 3, you're eligible.
So keep that in mind. And then in 2000, I want you to just note the difference. In 2000, it was teams could protect 2 goalies, 7 forwards, and 3 defensemen.
Ridiculous.
Or, Steve, I hope you're listening to this.
Oh, I am.
1 goalie, 9 forwards, and 5 defensemen.
I protect my whole team.
The whole damn team.
And this is why the
players. 15.
You can take Horton and Robida.
Yeah,
This
really.
is why I'm pretty sure the Thrashers had team captain Kelly Buckberger.
That's right.
Remember that?
Yes, I do.
And God bless Kelly Buckberger.
Well,
But
Sean
he was-
O'Donnell's taking to the first pick there. It was bad. Stacey Roos from the Detroit Red Wings. Now,
I'm fairly certain you're making that up.
I'm pretty sure he played in Minnesota.
Nah.
Anyway, we got to go on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. The podcast is brought to you by Panago Pizza. It's what's in the inside that counts. We're going to talk about this expansion draft, how likely it is, and obviously talk about the Leafs. Who could be stolen? That's at sportsnet.ca. You can subscribe to the Steve Dangle podcast on iTunes. And thank you so much for listening. Okay, so knowing that a player with over 2 years of professional experience, NHL, ECHL, AHL, or otherwise.
So Europe fits in there too.
You know what? That's a good question. I don't know about that. We'll have to fact check. Does Europe play? Europe does not.
In terms of
protection,
like McDavid, Austin Matthews, would that count as a year?
I don't know. I don't think so.
No.
I'm going to go with North American League.
Go with no.
What about Andreas Johnson?
Well, that would be not North American League.
No, I know, but
he's Swedish.
He's European, but Austin Matthews is 17 years old. Andreas Johnson is in his 20s.
It doesn't matter. It's about years played.
Mm-hmm.
He's played professionally.
That's what I just said, though. I just think it's North American.
North American leagues.
Yeah, because it's a protected asset. Over there, it doesn't count as playing towards your organization.
I wonder if that is why Mr. Johnson is still over there.
Good question.
I wonder if someone was clever.
Now, there is it's interesting that the Leafs chose to play William Nylander in his 10th game tonight. Because if there is an expansion draft, we'll know by either this year's draft or by next year's draft. But either way, we have to know, or GMs have to know a year in advance. So you have to know by the draft. So if we pass this year and there's no announcement, no team. But next year, probably going to be a team. If they're drafting these rules up, there's going to be a couple teams, guys. The NHL's expanding. There's the writing on the wall right there.
Which I think was obvious anyway.
Yeah.
So with the Leafs, though, do you prepare yourselves financially, which it sounds like they are, which is the whole reason he's played in his 10th game? Or do you just live in fear of this expansion draft?
Well, I think you prepare yourself financially. You're right.
Like, you got to prepare yourself for, I mean, at the end of the day, you're still going to be in the NHL, and it's still a salary cap league.
And it's still probably going to be $73, $74 million.
And if you run your team well enough, guess what? Someone takes something from you, you replace it with something else you have.
Exactly. So, and a guy like William Nylander, the Leafs don't have to worry about because they're going to protect him.
Yes.
They are going to protect a guy like that. You have to expect, I would think, Nylander. I would think James Van Riemsdyk. I
got to take these. I've been wearing funky glasses the whole show. You can see on the video. It's making it really hard to write.
You have to protect a goalie.
Yep.
Under no circumstances can you not protect a goalie.
That's interesting.
Isn't it? That's interesting for an organization like the Leafs with no definitive starting goalie.
Or, I mean, okay, so we're not going to have, it's not like next year, they're not going to have to protect someone at this draft.
Could.
No. Like, well, when's the expansion draft allegedly going to be?
The team would come into play 2017, so the draft would be next June.
Yeah.
Right, so...
But we would be notified this June.
The Leafs, I mean, it's not like they got to protect Sparks or Bernier.
They have to protect...
Bernier won't be signed.
Right.
Yeah.
But they have to protect someone. You have to.
Okay, Sparks then.
Yeah, exactly.
He's the only one left, really. Well, or Bebo.
Friedman kind of pointed that out in 30 Thoughts. He said there might be a trend of 2-year contracts that get signed. So once that draft comes up, somebody's not going to, Las Vegas is going to pick a player who's not going to be on the team come July 1st. So if your contract expires then, it's kind of a trick to get out of it.
Oh,
you know?
which...
Whoa.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah. So Nylander...
Damn, I didn't even think about that.
If he's not signed on July 1st... why would you pick him? He's just going to go and sign with the Leafs.
Gotta love loopholes.
Yeah.
Damn, and you know Lou knows about this.
Yeah.
Lou knew about this 6 months ago. Mm-hmm. That's how ahead Lou is.
He's been through a few expansion drafts.
He sure has. Now, if you are the Leafs, and it does happen today, you're protecting Nylander, you're protecting Marner. Although you probably don't have to protect Marner if it happens today.
So that's hilarious.
But okay, no, you know what? Maybe today isn't the time. Maybe we talk about, okay, so this expansion draft is happening next June. You still don't have to protect Marner.
No.
You still don't have to protect, let's say for fun's sakes, Austin Matthews. But you do have to protect Steven Stamkos.
Which would be fine. But like I'm not even gonna mark him because that's fantasies right now.
And you also have to protect mid-90s Martin Brodeur, who now plays for the Leafs.
I'm looking at like who is irreplaceable. Who can I never get back unless I draft him?
So Nylander, Kapanen,
Riley. Do we have 8?
I think Nylander, Riley.
Right. Okay, so those are the first two you start with, right? You start with those.
That's where I'm at.
Okay, and then you got to think. I mean, if Uncle Leo is a core member of this team, and we have to go based on what we know this year, but we're projecting into next year. We can't project how Uncle Leo is going to play. But if we were to take this roster and fast forward it a year, and let's say everything was exactly the same, that's how we kind of have to do this hypothetical. Okay, you got to put Leo on that list, and JVR.
Yeah, that's true. Let's look at all the players we have to protect.
Yeah,
you're right.
You got to protect.
Okay, that. JVR, I'll protect. We're writing this all down as well. Mm-hmm. Jesse, can you do it on account of I suck and I can't find everybody?
So then, then you have to protect Nylander because he's in year 2,
and
Kapanen,
Gardner.
Actually, I don't know if Kapanen you have to.
Kapanen. He played AHL last year.
Yeah, so
or part of it anyway.
Oh, that's it.
Now hold on. Before you write down Kapanen, hang on to that thought. Not anything against.
Can I put down Riley?
Definitely put down Riley.
Yeah, circle Kapanen.
So the list right now is who? JVR, Uncle Leo, William Nylander, Jake Gardner, and Morgan Riley. That's a pretty good list.
2D, 3 forwards so far is what we're going with.
which we're still compliant with both options,
Yes.
which is 7 forward, 3D, or 8 of any type.
Now you've got Sosh, Kapanen, Connor Brown, all of whom will be unprotected. Although Sosh may not be, because this is his. That will be his second year. No, he'll be
Jesse's on
unprotected
it.
as well.
Jesse's
He will be
on it.
unprotected.
He'll be unprotected. 2 years
Hyman?
in the K.
Hyman will be unprotected.
This is his first professional year.
Yeah, but next year it will be his
Will
second.
be his
No,
second.
but then he's still.
Oh, he's still
good.
protected in his second.
Once you hit 3, then you won't be protected. He'll be good.
So then Nylander would be fine too then, under those rules.
No, because Nylander played pro last year.
Where?
Toronto.
Oh, right. The
That's
Marlies.
right.
Yeah, duh.
He didn't come over until partway through.
You're
It's
totally right.
Totally easy to forget.
You're totally right. So we got to have Naz on that list, do we not?
Yep.
I mean, if they sign him,
But yeah, okay, but we're saying just based on this
the
year's
Leafs
roster,
have
we
put
know.
themselves in such a carte blanche scenario that
They can do whatever.
they can prepare. Are we really expecting them to contend in the next 2 years?
I don't know if they're going to contend. I think they'll contend for a playoff spot.
Sure, but like you can contend for a playoff spot with a bunch of guys you can sign to 1 and 2 year deals,
Sure.
which is what I think they're going to do, and you don't have to protect those guys.
Yeah. Now,
They're in a great position.
so
Do you
beyond,
protect Bozak?
no,
I think
You let him go to Vegas?
you do protect Bozak.
why do you protect? Bozak?
Or you don't protect him because you're not protecting Lupul because you hope that contract comes off your books.
Of course.
Do you put out a herring? Do you put out somebody you're like, if they grab this guy, I know they'll grab this guy, and it'll protect all the other guys.
That's going to happen around the league.
Yep.
And what's been interesting, in expansion drafts have passed, I'm sure there were teams who were like, please take this guy. Oh my God.
Yeah.
But there has never been a salary cap situation.
Right.
And this is
Right.
going to be interesting. Like, this is a lot of teams are going to lose players they really wanted. Other teams are getting free compliance buyouts. It's a free compliance buyout.
So are you saying Las Vegas will claim Chris Pronger's contract along with Mark Savard?
Now, how hilarious would that be?
be
If they're
great.
having trouble hitting the floor, you can and think of how interesting it is that you have to make a cap compliant team out of these players.
Yeah.
Do you take so many young cheap guys that you have to get a Horton or a Pronger?
and how
Will
screwed-
they even be eligible?
How
I assume
screwed?
so.
I would assume so.
Yeah.
And how screwed are the Leafs if they take Horton? Because they're using that contract and they're using Robidaw's contract to go over.
No, they're fine because
Well, they will be.
becomes Vegas's problem.
But it's not even a problem here. That's the thing is they can go over with that.
Yeah, but they can go over with not having him at all.
Also true.
What about the guy who we were just talking about, Marincin? He'll be eligible. Do we protect him?
Well, here, what's the list so far? Let's re-up the list.
Well, okay. Yeah.
JVR, Leo, Willie, Jay Gardner, Morgan Riley,
Yeah.
and then you guys haven't decided on Naz.
Well, let's
say yes.
yes, let's say Nas.
Okay, so there we go. So we got 4 forwards, 2 defensemen. We can still pick either option.
Now, I look at Marincin and I go, do I have to protect him? Do I have to? Now, here's a good question because I look at the Leafs' defensive situation. Riley, I can't live life without. Gardner, I can't live life without. Beyond that,
And this is what I have a question about.
do they protect 8 forwards or 8 of any type?
Yes.
So I
you
can
take-
live. I can live with losing Martin.
Okay, so what do they have? We have 2 defensemen protected.
Yes.
So let's say Philadelphia. I don't know. Let's say Philadelphia comes to us and says, listen, we need to protect X defenseman. Okay? We've got 3 great ones that we're protecting. We need to protect the 4th.
Ghost Bear.
And and let's say it's Ghost Bear, even though it wouldn't be. And let's say they have already chosen 7 forwards, which they also need. What's to stop Philadelphia from trading Ghost Bear to Toronto and a pick, and then after the draft is over, Toronto agrees to send him back?
No, I think there's something at CBA about that for sure.
There
Is there?
has to be
you
some
can't-
kind of shenanigans clause.
Yeah.
How can there be a
You
shenanigans?
can't
How
collude
could?
to trade guys and then trade them back.
But why not? Why not? Honestly, look at it. Honestly, think about that. Yes, I know it's not in the spirit of the. Why?
That's too NHL 16-ish.
Yeah,
No,
that
but
is-
why?
yeah.
But no. But answer the. But give me an answer.
like
why.
fundamentally?
Why fundamentally can you not do that?
Because no fun.
Because it's
Because no fun. Okay.
there's got to be a rule for it. Is why you can't do it.
Yeah, no, Adam's not asking like for the rules. He's asking like, why? Why?
Because I think
Why?
That'd be cool.
if there is no rule, when this goes into, because they still have to meet with the PA on this, because no movement clauses also play into this one too, and the PA is going to fight for no movement clauses. Well, oh my God, anybody with a no movement clause that doesn't deserve it, and if they get to keep their spot, like they're an instant thing, that's going to suck.
I think the most fun part about, there's going to be a couple fun parts. One is going to be seeing how the Leafs completely manipulate the crap out of this.
Oh.
They've gotten almost everything they've wanted this season. They called up Connor Brown. They had no call-ups left. But guess what? Leo's got a boo-boo. Well, we need him. Got to call him up.
Stonehand scored a goal.
Grabner? Was it with his butt?
Hey!
I hope so.
Okay.
Sorry to go, bud.
But that's the point, guys.
Stonehand scored a goal.
Is that, I could see the Leafs doing something like that. I could see them doing that.
A lot of
See,
shenanigans.
here's how you hold the Leafs hostage to make sure they trade you Ghost Bear back. You take their first pick. You say, okay, I'm going to trade you Ghost Bear, and I'm going to take your first pick.
And the first pick is their credit card.
We agree. Yeah,
That's the tab at the bar.
So we agree to flip that back, and we'll throw you a second just for protecting our asset.
And there's like, no, not doing it. We're keeping
You're
them.
staying at the Flyers Hotel, and you got to leave a credit card number.
Right?
Now, here's what's going to be the most fun, and we have to hold a podcast, at least one, in this time frame, is at some point, we're going to find out who all the teams protected. And there's going to be a little gap between who the teams are protected and the actual fantasy draft. Fantasy draft, I keep calling it expansion draft.
They are kind of calling it the
I
fantasy
mean, it is
draft.
basically it. And we're going to get to Pixies. We're going to get to go, and that's what I would do.
Heavens to
and
Pixies.
Heavens to Pixies. And
Well,
that-
if you guys pick, if you finish your list, then we can pick.
That's the thing, is that I leave it open. I leave it open because trade me your assets and I'll protect your assets. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
So who's your goalie?
Sparks, I guess.
It has to be Sparks.
Like, you have no idea. Like, and so one thing I've been thumping recently is stop trying to predict what the Leafs are going to look like next year because you have no idea. Like, this list is going to be hilarious.
Totally, for sure.
We should keep it. Like, take a picture
Yeah.
of it. And remember when we protected that guy who got traded 3 times in the last 4 months?
So uncircle Nazem Kadri too, because we got to have him on there. If we're looking at it, if you're not going with my theory that the Leafs are going to find a workaround for this, then we're protecting Nazem Kadri.
Yeah, he's protected.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are we at now? How many forwards? How many D?
We're still 4 forwards, 2D.
So I feel like we need to go 7 forwards and 3D.
3D. So I guess the third D.
Percy? Corrado?
Now, well, see, and I love Percy, but I don't think you'll even need to protect him.
I don't think so either, especially if you're only losing one player.
You got to remember, you're one of 29 other teams that's getting picked from here.
They may not even pick from your team. That's the thing. They may look at you and go, oh, we don't want
They
any.
might go, screw you.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Because they're. I don't think they're making 30 picks. I think they're making 23.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know that for sure. That part I don't know. It might be 30.
Corrado?
Yeah, I think you got to protect Corrado.
Over Marincin? And like, this is what I'm saying. I have all 29 other teams to pick from. I love Corrado. I love Marincin.
I'm telling you, that's why you leave those spaces open.
They're going to be the best options? I don't know about that, man.
Watch this theory come to life. Watch this theory. Watch. The Leafs will trade protection.
Connor
The Leafs
Carey?
will be the mafia of the NHL.
Hey,
you give us a little bit
we'll do
your money.
this and, there's
we'll
going
do
to
a
be
little protection.
The greatest book is going to be how the Leafs shenanigans their way to a cup.
Yeah. Hey, do you know that? Who was it? Somebody was complaining about Stan Bowman at the GM's meetings.
Oh, I didn't get a chance to read about that.
But it was really fun, and I forget who it was, and forgive me, I'm butchering the story, but essentially, they were mad about the fact that Patrick Kane was injured, so they put him on long-term injury reserve, even though he technically wasn't injured that long. But they saved that cap space and were able to make an acquisition they wouldn't have otherwise been able to make. And what this team was arguing was, and I feel like it was Doug Armstrong.
Look at the Leafs.
Was it Doug Armstrong? No, somebody. I don't think it was Doug, but one of the
I want to say it was the
managers.
Blues and the Stars.
Probably
was
who
it the Ducks?
directly affected.
Yeah, it was another Western Conference team.
I believe that they're like, well, that's competitive advantage. They have more money than we do. They can do that.
Bob Murray.
Yeah. Bob Murray.
Yes.
There you go.
Anaheim.
He wanted that on the agenda at the meetings.
Which is hilarious.
Yes.
I don't think that made the agenda.
Which, of all the contracts to complain about, that one, and not the illegal Hossa and Keith contracts.
Yeah, right. That too. Yeah.
Which, well, it's too late
So
now.
that's why I think it's funny that general managers around the league are starting to bring this stuff up. Because listen, if the Leafs were good, people would be all over them about the stuff they're pulling. But because they're last, they're like, well, they're not really our problem yet.
I would love to know what ideas are immediately poo-pooed as stupid. And I'm hoping one of them was, did you see the one that was pitched where, so goalies aren't allowed to play the puck outside of the trapezoid behind the net.
Right.
But a defenseman can stand back there and idle as long as they want. So someone wants what is basically a shot clock on how long you can stand back there with the puck.
Yeah.
There was one in the NFL today that came out of the NFL meetings. The Ravens proposed that any eligible receiver who wasn't eligible on last play, like you can't throw to an offensive lineman unless you tell the ref, hey, this guy's become a receiver. So they want, if that guy becomes a receiver, they want him to go to the sidelines and get a penny and put on the penny mid-game and then come back out the field and play.
Baltimore. Shut up. Also, they're the Ravens. You're already the worst. You're already the Ravens, and you're already the worst.
Do professional sports ruin sports?
Yes. Yes. There's no way Goodell goes for that.
Imagine
No, Goodell's like,
a 500-pound guy running to the sideline, getting his red penny, putting it on.
Hold
mid-game.
on. You're really testing that big fella's cardio.
good God.
So I think that should be a thing in the NHL. Everybody wears pennies.
Anyway,
fun.
I don't think
Don't
you protect.
people remember fun?
The guys that we have listed are the only guys you need to protect, is my point.
Yeah, after that, you get a bunch of free protections.
Yep. So that's cool.
We got,
And you're telling me those have no value in the trade market.
Here are my
You guys are
answers.
telling me that have no trade value.
I'm not telling you that. I'm just telling you that's shenaniganery, and it won't be. It shan't be allowed.
What? Stefan Robida? What do you?
If it wasn't your
This is more shenanigans
This
than
is
that.
shenaniganery 101.
I'm willing to believe Robida is hurt
Yeah.
and Dunski's.
Well, maybe he'll be back next year, Steve. Maybe he'll be back next year. 'Cause
Maybe.
time heals all, right?
Maybe.
If we're sitting here saying trading Ghost Bear to the Leafs and then trading him right back is ridiculous, I'm sure Gary Bettman's saying that too.
I'm sure Gary Bettman. Hey, really?
Yes.
By the way-
Gary Bettman?
Yes.
Bettman's all for that, by the way, I think.
You just made me think of Lou's favorite expression. Time heals some. Not all.
Very true.
Certainly not all.
Hey,
I mean, we hope.
You know
We
what?
hope.
Can we talk about something? We've been meaning to make this announcement for a long time, and we finally got it all set up. And it is time for the Dangle Navy to set sail again! All right. April 2nd, Marley's Grand Rapids Dangle Navy. Get ready, because we're going.
Switching lanes in the Grand Rap.
But this time we're a little more organized about it. I like this. This is way better about this. Because not only is Grand Rapids a kind of a rival.
Yep.
Are we going to the game in Michigan?
No, it's going to be in Toronto.
Damn.
But we also
No one has ever said that about going to Michigan.
I wanted to get sick.
God, Jesse.
I was gonna have a little glass of water.
Whoa.
Sorry, guys.
Send your complaints to
Yeah, to
reddit.com
Jesse. Yeah.
/r/
So here's by the way, that was a joke.
My name.
Everybody relax. It was a joke. This is cool because we actually got organized about it this time, which is rare for us. And
Very.
we were able to find a company that bought a section for us.
What do you mean, bought a
Like
section?
they bought tickets, and you buy the tickets from them, and the tickets are $10, and they're flat $10
$10 for the Dangle Navy section?
for the Dangle Navy section. Okay, so it's SeatGeek, and they're basically they're your way to buy tickets for this particular event is through SeatGeek.com. So if you go to SeatGeek.com, it's essentially the same sort of site that you would see.
You know the common ones.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're saying SeatGeek's a big ripoff?
No, I'm saying SeatGeek's the opposite.
Oh, okay. I'm just making sure I understand.
Here's the deal with SeatGeek, okay? When you buy tickets from them, you know how sometimes when you buy from sites on the internet that are second-party sites where people are selling their tickets, that there's fees that come into play afterwards? SeatGeek doesn't do that.
They'll rip you off a little bit. Oh, SeatGeek doesn't rip you off.
No, they don't.
There are no fees? They're not dirty bastards?
Well, no, they tell you if there are going to be fees, there are fees up front. But what SeatGeek has graciously done, SeatGeek.com, has graciously done, is they've waived all the fees for this game.
Oh!
So it's $10, and you can buy all of the seats. Now it's rows Q through S, available only on SeatGeek section 114 for the Marlies, Saturday, April the 2nd. So Dangle Navy coming out in full force. SeatGeek.com, sign up. It's literally just set up
Is
a
this
quick
one
profile.
ACC or Rico?
What's that?
I was just about to ask that.
This game.
That is a good question. I believe it is at Rico, but let's check that one. And while you're checking that, Jesse, so the other thing that SeatGeek does that I should probably mention is you can set alerts on the SeatGeek app. Like this is what I do.
Oh, there's an app.
Yeah.
Oh, you should download the app.
Oh my God.
Oh, future.
Now you set it up. And
Sensational.
SeatGeek's got this system where they actually grade tickets price fairness. So is this actually a deal?
What?
As compared to, so if you go to SeatGeek and you're trying to buy tickets to a concert, you can buy tickets to concerts and games or whatever. You can find out if your tickets are actually fairly priced. And that's kind of cool. So if you want to say, let's say you want to go to a concert, it's a Rihanna concert, you want to take Steve to the Rihanna concert.
Because why wouldn't you?
But you don't.
Dangle Navy,
But
obviously.
you want to pay fair price because you're going to have to pay something, but you don't want to like ridiculously overpay for them, but you're not really sure what a fair price is. SeatGeek already rates that for you, and they'll send you an alert when a good pair of tickets comes up that are fairly priced, or perhaps a steal.
The got you fam function.
Basically, the got you fam function. Exactly. So
Is this fair? Oh, got you fam.
that's why we like SeatGeek. That's why we're using them. That's why we think that they were a good partner to go with on this one. And I'm so pumped about this.
And we got a Dangle Navy section
Navy.
once again.
Buy your seats through SeatGeek.com again. $10.
Is there a
Set
code?
sail.
Huh?
Is there a code you have to use?
No,
No.
you don't even have to use a code.
What?
Oh, by the way,
You just buy the
Technology and
Marley.
stuff.
They bought the tickets
Yeah.
and are going. This is for the listeners.
What's
And
our
the Marley's
section?
tickets 114.
114. Okay.
The Marley's tickets 114. Q through S, available on SeatGeek. That is the official Dangle Navy section. We will be there, and you will be too.
that's right. You will be.
Anyway.
That was threatening.
Well, no, I hope you will. We had so much fun last time, but what sucked was that we all had to meet out in the hallways, and then we all had to. Then we'd miss like part of the game. This time we can all watch the game together. Everybody can bring Dangle Navy signs, and I'm with Dangle on the signs, and make an obnoxious amount of noise and embarrass Steve the whole night, and we can all do it together.
Amazing. Will Steve be playing the halftime game where you shoot the puck from half
I thought he was going to be in the halftime baby
from
race.
center ice? Oh, yeah, that too.
I would smoke them. I would kick those babies' asses.
Now, Jesse, young Jesse.
Yes.
By the way, if you want a link to that, Steve's going to tweet that out from his Twitter account a little bit
that's
later.
a lot of pressure.
Yeah, no, we're actually going to make sure that
That's a lot
that
of
goes out
pressure.
to the SeatGeek link to the official section. Don't worry.
don't think we can do
Jesse,
that.
Yes.
you have some sad news, and it has to do with our favorite new game,
It does.
which is NHL in-house promotion of the day.
Oh,
Yes.
you know what? I'm not going to lie. I'm glad that's what it is. Because Jesse messages us hours ago and he goes, I have some sad news for the show today. And I'm like, this could be anything. What horrible thing just happened? It's just you going to leave the friggin' shit. Not again! Not again! And
You're not leaving, are
it
you?
is what?
I
Oh, yeah.
am-
By the way, you're not leaving, right?
I am moving to Vancouver
No!
to become a Canucks fan.
You're,
Jesse's,
you can do that here!
Jesse's starting a granola farm.
What?
He's going to plant granola.
Yeah.
Granola is Adam's go-to BC
With
thing.
Vancouver.
I've never properly understood it, but I always go
It's
with
because they're very health conscious there. Smartly. They'll probably outlive us all.
What would have been fun is a scarf farm.
Or a Lululemon pants farm.
That would have been fine.
Would that have been funnier?
See,
I'm going to go with that.
somebody
okay.
should start that regardless.
Yeah.
But moving on.
Tweet us your Photoshopped Lululemon pant farm pictures.
I want to see a granola bar walking around with yoga pants.
Lululemon yoga pants. And Jesse holding hands with it.
Please send that.
Yes.
All
Anyway,
right. What's the sad news? Is this actually sad?
the Sharks song was eliminated in the first round.
No! Hold on. Let me bring it up. Oh, my God.
It didn't even make the
For everybody,
first cut.
For everybody that missed this, oh my God, hang on. I'm just bringing it up on YouTube. It didn't make the first cut.
It didn't even make the
What the
first
hell's
cut.
wrong with those people?
They got a whole new batch of songs for the second round, and Sharks.
Now,
Sharks
did they
wasn't
show
in
the
that.
votes?
They did not.
Because I wonder if they were like, okay, that's enough.
It would have been there, John Scott.
Shark.
I have something interesting about the John Scott situation, actually.
Well, hold
Something
on.
new?
Yeah, I totally forgot. I read this.
There's a new news thing?
Hold on. There's a. Well, we can't hear this right now.
The onion that is the John Scott story.
So here is the Sharks song, just in case you missed it.
Here's Thornton now with Burns. He scores! Brent Burns, and it's 3-1.
Now tell me, how does that not win?
Are you jacked? Are you ready to score another goal? I bet you are, 48-year-old Joe Thornton, who won't retire because he loves the song so much. Yeah!
True.
Yeah!
What did you read about John Scott? Does this have to do with the Sharks?
No.
Okay. We're weaving.
Well, then I don't care.
A team may file a grievance within 2 days from the date of the suspension announced. If the grievance is upheld, the arbitrator shall have full authority to fashion an appropriate remedy pursuant to traditional standards of contract law and void the transaction. That sentence means that if within 2 days of when Tenorti was suspended for PEDs,
Which was
long
like-
after the All-Star game, which was a
Yes.
couple weeks ago, if Arizona wanted to, they could have filed a grievance and had the trade reversed. Could you imagine if they sent back John Scott after all of this nonsense?
Whoa.
It's a thing in the CBA
But they
that could have
didn't.
happened.
They didn't because
But
they knew.
They said,
They knew. Don Baloney.
let's not file that grievance.
Don Baloney. I'm sure he's a nice man. I'm sure he does not appreciate me
Gary
calling him
Bettman's
that.
phone rings and it says Don Maloney during those 2 days. Does he answer it?
Oh, I'm sorry, Don. You're breaking up.
So, Don, it's Gary. It's Gary. No, there's something wrong with your line. You got a bad line. So, no, I gotta go. I gotta get a new phone. But don't even fucking think about it. All right, thanks, Gary. Bye.
True.
Don't even fucking think about it, asshole. I know what you're calling me for. Bye.
I just think that's fascinating.
That is fascinating.
They could have reversed the John Scott trade.
Perhaps more fascinating is
Oh my God, John Scott gets traded back to the Sharks.
no. So that's the sad news that you
Yes.
had. Okay, so the sad
Thank
news.
God.
Yeah.
Thank God.
I was like, no, we don't. No.
Oh, I thought something really genuinely bad happened.
Do you guys want a promotion of the night?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
The Nashville Predators are holding a night to celebrate one of the worst activities on earth.
A murder night.
What?
Purge night.
The worst people do this.
Say the word YOLO.
Is it selfie stick night?
It is.
Whoa! Did you get it?
It is.
Oh!
CrossFit night.
Oh! Even worse.
This fucking guy. You see the face? He's like, Steve,
No.
you're completely wrong.
CrossFit night.
So on March 26th, the Nashville Predators will have CrossFit night featuring Rich Frowning. You get a Q&A session with Rich Frowning, an autograph and picture. And you get He's a 4-time CrossFit Games men's champion, and you get a lower level club ticket for $59. An official CrossFit Reebok t-shirt.
And if you're working concessions that night, be prepared and do some dodging, because there's just going to be people running up and down the stairs trying to show off every commercial break, every TV break. They're running for it. Adam looks so genuinely upset.
CrossFit night.
Boy.
CrossFit nights.
Now,
featuring a guy with his shirt off because of course.
I mean, is it real CrossFit if you don't have your shirt off?
Is it real CrossFit if you don't talk about it?
No, true. Damn. Wow.
Now, okay, if you are
that is creative. I'll give him that. That is a real stretch.
If you're a true CrossFitter, do you get tickets to this game even if you're not a hockey fan? Because this gives you the perfect excuse to be like, yeah, I'm going to CrossFit night. Yeah, it's for, the Predators. Predators. It's a hockey team. Anyway, yeah, they're having a CrossFit night, and I figure I'd go because I do CrossFit. It's a perfect excuse.
Yeah, my entire gym's going. So I just thought I'd go. You know.
Now, before you all...
Bringing my exercise heavy ball with me so I can throw it up on the wall and squat when I catch it. 5,000 times.
You want to do some shups, bruh? Let's crank out some shups. Now, before you all say it, 3, 2, 1. Yes, I post a lot of fucking workout videos on Instagram. Shut up.
Mm-hmm. But you're not CrossFit.
This is coming from the guy who... I don't care.
Yeah. You're not CrossFit.
I've been very snooty. I've been snooty on social media lately.
One of my favorite radio hosts in the States, his name's Bobby Bones, and he does all these country stations, but it's based out of Nashville, funnily enough.
Person.
He, our American listeners have probably heard of him. He's probably the biggest name in radio and country music. Anyway.
I've heard of the Marincin Bears, and they're made up.
He got ripped. He got totally shredded and posted a picture of himself in basically just his shorts, which were really short. And people were like, stop trying to blah, blah, Kim Kardashian or whatever. And he's like, I'm looking through, and he tweets this. He's like, I'm looking through my Instagram comments and everybody's calling me Kim Kardashian and saying I did it for attention and to stop doing it for attention. And he said, that's the reason I have Instagram, is for attention. And by the way, it's the same reason you have Instagram. So can we just call it what it is? And it was like, wow, that's a really good point. Good work, Bobby.
Way to
Steve,
tear down the fourth wall there.
So Steve, you keep posting your exercise videos.
I will.
Okay?
How else are people going to know that I throw around goofy ass ropes?
Exactly.
Did you post a picture of Iggy today?
No, but I have one.
That means one child died somewhere.
I can save a life, though. It's not midnight yet.
Okay.
All right, let's do the press conference.
The Presser. SDP. The Steve Dangle Press Conference.
Hey, did we talk about the Redskins' new stadium last episode? We did, didn't we?
No.
We missed it. By the way,
did not.
Okay, we didn't talk about it, but here's what you need to know. It has a moat, it has a climbing wall, and a roller skating area. Not rollerblading, roller skating.
I sent Adam I sent Adam and Jesse what I imagined the fake conversation was like.
Yeah.
You need to change your racist name. Build a moat? No, that's not what I said. Build a moat. Got it.
Pretty much. Well, and Deadspin's got this hilarious take on it. And they're like, yeah, in the middle of November when the Redskins are 0-9, a bunch of shitbags are gonna want to go surfing. Because there's a surfing spot too. That's what they said. A bunch of drunk shitbags is the comment that they made. And it's like, yeah, let me catch this tasty wave. It's just Dan Snyder, man. Dan freaking Snyder. He's the most interesting owner in sports.
Is he worse than Donald Trump?
He is, and the NFL's Donald Trump, and the NFL is full of Donald Trumps. And Robert Kraft. I'm friends with Robert Kraft.
He's not trying to run the NFL, let alone the country. God, every time something like this happens, I go, fuck! George Carlin's dead.
Yeah.
Damn it. It just, I know he was old, but I'm bitter.
Oh.
He always said, oh God, what's the saying? It's, the world is a freak show, and if you're born in America, you get a front row seat.
Wow. Good, true. Very, very true. Yeah. And I remember one of the ones that I downloaded. Who
thinks of this? I'm going to put a moat around my stadium. Who thinks about that and is not a medieval king?
Dan Snyder is a medieval king. You can argue that's how he makes it. And also, I mean, George Carlin made a really good argument once about the fact, he's like, what is America's number one export? Bullshit. high quality bullshit. And he's right.
Moats.
But it's fun bullshit. I'm into the bullshit. I'm all about the bullshit.
Oh, I just want to hear him talk about it.
America's thing is entertainment.
Patrice O'Neill and George Carlin don't get to talk about all this goofy shit.
I know, it's sad.
Bitter.
Damn, it's entertaining. Damn, it is entertaining.
Back at it again with the moat.
And you know what? And you know what? I made a mistake there. I shouldn't say the Washington football team's name. And I'm going to come out and apologize for that. And I'm not even kidding. It's force of habit, but that will be the last time I say it.
Yes.
It is bullshit. I don't think you should beat yourself up on account of it's the team name. It is a naughty team name, and we shan't be using it.
Yeah, we shouldn't say it. That will be the last time you hear me say that name.
Yes.
That will be the last time. I apologize. It was just...
One of the other things written in the article was, we need it to appeal to the youngs. I know, rollerblades. The youngs do that. Let's have them bonging do as well.
The youngs.
So funny.
And it was like, what was the climbing wall one? It was like...
Let's all scale down the wall of the stadium to go apprehend the Blues Brothers.
No. What was the one about the
That's the repellers.
That was the repellers?
I've met Skins fans, and I can promise you that they're not fit to climbing anything. They can barely step up in their F-150s after drunkenly hurling at Deshaun Jackson for 3 hours.
Anyway.
Change your racist name?
No,
I'm going to build a moat to keep out all the people who tell me to change my racist name.
Yeah, exactly. All right, first question, Jesse.
Is Eric Hartman running them? Eric Hartman, go fuck yourself.
This comment was downvoted once, but I kind of liked it.
You upvoted it?
Sign one, I did not, but I upvoted in real life. Sign one, trade one, and wave one.
Wow.
Austin Matthews,
Damn.
William Nylander, and Mitch Marner.
Sign one, wave one, trade one?
Mm-hmm.
Sign one, wave one, trade one. So if you sign them, you got them. If you wave them, you lose them for nothing. If you trade them, you get something, but you lose them. Who is the best of the three? We got to identify. It's got to be Matthews, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would assume Matthews.
Mm-hmm. So is it sign one? Sign one, trade one.
So he's not getting waived, which means you got to waive one of Nylander or Marner.
Ooh.
Where are you, Adam?
Okay.
Who has higher value, Marner or Nylander?
I would trade... Oh, you have to waive?
No, the question is who has higher value. Not who's going to be the better player, who has higher value,
okay.
Marner or Nylander.
Based on his ridiculous stats lately and the way that the rest of the NHL GMs are wowed by shiny things, Marner.
I don't know about that.
I think it's going to be Marner because of his highlight reel goals and the fact that he has like 120 points or 110 points in 57 games.
My answer, and it's a stupid one, is man.
I hate this so much.
too.
Why did you make us do this?
Sign one, trade one, and wave one.
Okay, I was going to say trade Matthews, but it's impossible to get fair value when you trade.
Can you trade him for McDavid?
No.
All right, then.
So sign Matthews, trade Nylander because I think he has higher value, and unfortunately you got to let one of them walk, and that's Marner.
And listen, this is not a slight against Nylander. I just think GMs salivate over unknowns. It's a human thing. We love potential. We don't, and it's not that Nylander doesn't have loads and loads and loads of potential, but it's because Nylander's played in the NHL that they're almost like, well, not really a new car anymore.
I look forward to how silly this conversation sounds when all three are Leafs.
Yeah, and hoisting the cup. I'm looking forward to that. With Stamkos.
You didn't pick one. You didn't pick a scenario.
Oh, okay, so Matthews.
You're signing? I would make the argument maybe you should trade Matthews because you'll get the highest return.
I'm going to sign Nylander because I freaking love that kid. Mm-hmm. I'm going to trade Matthews and I'm going to wave Marner. Boom.
That's what
total
I would
reverse.
Do. That's what I would do.
Also, and who among us thinks Marner's going to suck? None.
No one.
None.
None.
That's just a really hard question, sir. Or madam. Congratulations.
I have a question.
Yes.
Press conference question, and maybe we don't know the answer to this, and maybe somebody else does. My question is this. Mitch Marner, if he doesn't make the Leafs next year, or if they decide that, yes, he's good enough, but it's probably not good for him to be up, has to go back and play another season for the London Knights. Is it possible for him to go, no, screw that, I'm going to Sweden?
There is probably a way. I doubt that'll happen. Look, he's...
Because if I'm him, that's what I do.
Of all the off seasons in the Toronto Maple Leafs organization, Mitch Marner's is the most important, I think, because he makes the team, or he takes a step back in his development, I think. So you got to say, look, you're making the team next year. Okay, you're making it. But we're not going to just give you the friggin' spot. Even though we're giving you the spot, we're not giving you the spot. So when you come to training camp in September, holy shit, you better knock our socks off, kid. And they're going to give him a strict regimen, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. All the training staff, all the facilities, all the whatever the hell he wants. I hope he's on the ice every day of the summer, not just 10 days of the summer. He's got to have the best offseason of any member of the Leafs organization.
And Lou did say, he said, he doesn't think he's ready.
Oh.
He said, I don't think he's ready. Not at this point. He said he might be ready come September, October. I hope he is, but he's not ready now.
This is what I'm saying. He's not going to learn a damn thing going to junior again. Nope. Not going to learn it. Unless you find a way, and this would never happen. I'm sure the Leafs could find a way to make it happen, but you got to find a way to get Marner off the Knights and send him to a crappy team where that'll actually be a challenge. He's not playing with, players of his skill set.
So get the London Knights to trade Mitchell Marner.
Yeah, good luck. I mean, I'm sure the Leafs have some connections.
Yeah, they know some people. Okay.
Some ways to do it.
It's just a question. If I'm Marner, that's what I would do. And if I'm any player, unless barring some rule, I would do that. Why wouldn't you? If you're Canadian born, can you do that? I mean, Austin Matthews did. Why can't these top line players go, no, screw that rule. That's ridiculous. It is ridiculous.
Leafs love loopholes. Wouldn't it be cool if Andreas Johnson and Mitch Marner played on a line together?
Well, think about that. So let's say he goes to Liga. Is that where Johnson's playing?
I think it's the Swedish Tier 1 league.
Isn't that Liga?
I think he's playing on...
Oh, is it Frölunda? Okay, so
Liga is Finland.
Okay, oh shoot, sorry.
SM
okay.
Liga, yeah.
So Frölunda, let's say they play Frölunda. Okay, they play together halfway through the season, just like William Nylander, the Leafs go, yeah, we want you both
Can't do
over
that.
here. Why not?
Because he's North American.
So what?
There's got to be, again, it's like we said earlier with the tradesies rule, there's got to be a shenanigans rule in place there.
But
I don't know what the shenanigans is.
If there is no rule, then there's no shenanigans.
Look, here's what I think that was. I think that was Lou lighting a fire.
Good.
Oh, Lord Jesus, it's a fire. That's what he lit under Mitch Marner. And Lou Lamoriello seems to agree with me. Mitch Marner needs to have one hell of an off season. He can't just dog it. He better come back faster, stronger, bigger, have a better shot somehow, even though he hasn't been playing games. What you got to do to get a better shot, that's up to you. He better be better in every facet because it's going to hurt him and therefore his future earnings if he doesn't make the Leafs next year. It's going to hurt him. If his development takes a step backward, he takes a step backward. His production takes a step backward. His money takes a step backward. Do you want that, Mitch? No. So have a really good offseason and kick ass.
Yeah.
Those are your options.
Okay.
What do you think of Colin Campbell saying on this very radio station that he would like a 20-year-old draft? So you can't get drafted until you're 20 years old.
That's ridiculous.
I don't like it.
I don't like it at all. I think it prevents people who are worthy of making the money they deserve to make. I think Colin Campbell is paying lip service to the CHL on that one because they have the agreement in place. So what else is he going to say?
Interesting.
You can make the argument that it's so rare that 18-year-olds make the NHL.
Doesn't matter.
19-year-olds, though.
Yeah, lots of them.
Yeah,
and
there's a lot more.
And it just doesn't matter. Are you telling me Colin Campbell actually wants superstar players to not play in the NHL? Are you telling me he wants the NHL to be a year and a half away from Connor McDavid being eligible to be drafted?
Wouldn't that
Get
be
out of town? That's lip service 101.
Wouldn't that be good news for like junior A and NCAA players?
Might be.
And junior A and NCAA teams?
Might be.
Because to me, that would make the CHL less enticing.
Totally. I would go to Europe.
What
If
if
I'm a high caliber player, go to Europe and make, $1 million for a couple of years.
Imagine you're Cody Hodgson. That guy got drafted real high as an 18-year-old. Vancouver Canucks pumped a bunch of money into him. They invested money in him. And then he hurt his back. NHL player gets hurt. That's covered. Don't worry about it. CHL player, I think they cover the injury, but you're not a millionaire at the end of it. Or you don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars. You don't make that NHL wage. I don't think I like it. So anyway, it's the point I was making there is, so why not go get an education? Why not get a scholarship?
No, there's no way at the end of the day, the NHL would not shoot themselves in the foot and allow that to happen. If they did, which honestly, there are certain things that the NHL does where I'm like, I cannot see how that makes business sense, but they're doing it anyway. And usually when those things happen, they go back on them the next year. So I could see it at most happening for 1 year, and then the NHL, the second, and Sidney Crosby, Alex Ovechkin, Connor McDavid, Austin Matthews, Wayne Gretzky, Gordie Howe type Bobby Orr comes along. That rule's gone.
I don't think you can make exceptions.
No, but that's my point.
One of the things that was floated last show, though, was, can you grant exceptions?
Yeah.
No, but that's my point, is that they would not hold to that because it's in the league's interest for these players to be playing as soon as possible.
I think we need to get someone on the show, like a Frege or someone, to really explain why that might be a good idea.
Yeah.
There isn't a reason. There's not one reason that's a good idea.
It's something they floated out there. Here's to play devil's advocate. The NBA went from an 18-year-old draft to a 19-year-old draft, and they now limit guys like Andrew Wiggins from coming into the NBA for a year.
See, I can see
when
that.
When did they do that?
It was after Kwame Brown, right? It was after the Kwame Brown drafted right out of high school.
No, it was LeBron was the last player.
Oh, okay.
So LeBron's year, which was 2003.
So Wiggins would have been drafted first overall coming out of high school, but instead he had to play a year at Kentucky.
Yes.
For the purpose of what? To play 1 year?
Well, the thing is,
They
the
didn't
NBA,
get an education
the NBA
in the 1 year.
and the NCAA, I believe, also have. Do they not have some sort of professional relationship?
They should.
It's great for the NCAA. It's great for them because they get these guys for 1 year. Like that Canadian. Who's the Canadian who's people are just raving about him right now in March Madness.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know his name.
Oh, what's his name?
But
Anyway.
yeah, March Madness is going on right now.
See,
and
I
they're
didn't even
building
know that.
stars.
Isn't it outrageous? Outrageous they don't pay their players. Like knowing stuff like
I
that.
said this 2 episodes ago. NCAA, it's a joke.
For 16 hours right now on the biggest network in the United States, they've been playing NBA college basketball.
And these players, by the way, are all good
sold
chunk
out
of-
games too.
are all pretty damn good. And yeah, and sometimes they're sold out in stadiums bigger than NBA stadiums.
In football stadium.
And there are actions being taken, like the Wiggins rule. Well, I'm sure that's not what it's called, but you know what I mean. There are actions being taken that push stars into a situation that benefits the NCAA but doesn't necessarily benefit the athlete.
Well,
That doesn't benefit Wiggins. How does that benefit Wiggins?
I'll tell you how it benefits the NBA. Because the NCAA...
Well, that's obvious.
The NCAA, beyond having a professional relationship, has a huge platform and a huge following, which minor hockey doesn't have. The CHL does not have that. And you can point all day.
Change.
Yeah, for sure. But until they get their act together and do a March Madness style tournament, it's not going to happen. You need an excitement. You need something. Everybody in March becomes a college basketball fan. Right, you need something like that in hockey. If they made the Memorial Cup format that, I would watch everything. It would be amazing. And that's the thing with this is that the NCAA is a huge platform. It's a star maker. So what it does is it generates a lot of interest in who the NBA teams are going to be drafting and puts them on a major network before they're ever in the NBA. So by the time they make the NBA, and by the time, like in an Andrew Wiggins case, they start doing well, they're already a marketable NBA star. Already. Whatever city they go to.
It's outrageous.
I could see the NHL doing 19. I could see that
could as well,
and
yeah.
I could see that making sense.
It makes sense.
But 20, I'm not
20,
so sure.
no, not a chance in hell, not a chance. Not going to happen.
I'd like to know what Elliot thinks about that.
I would love to know. Mm-hmm. Can maybe have him call in.
Oh, they might do it. I just think it's wrong.
Problem is we just
Agreed.
usually record the show at a time where Elliot Friedman is busy.
He's working. He's got a job.
Next
Whatever.
question.
Whatever. He's got a job.
Why isn't Hat Guy allowed to go to Hockey Night in cinema?
Would you let him in?
Yeah.
Okay.
You ever
Let's
hung
ask
out
someone
with that
with
guy?
let's ask someone with some sense. Listen, I'm again it. If you got any sense, you're again it. I'm again having Hat Guy come in. First of all, we had 55 to 60 pizzas ordered to that theater. Do you know how many more we would have to order if Hat Guy came in? At least another 20, 25.
Okay.
Now, that is a brand new Panda Go Pizza franchise in Ottawa, and we wanted to survive.
While he eats a lot, I mean, it's why Steve keeps wearing free clothes. I mean, it's, we make fun of him, but really, I mean, it's to feed Hat Guy. Your budget is just through the roof on feeding that guy.
It's unbelievable. I mean, I don't know why we took on the dog, knowing that we already have another giant mouth to feed.
Right.
Why do you feed Hat Guy?
What, you think he has a job?
No, but just let him find his own food.
Like in the woods?
Yeah.
And he starts pecking off
Foraging
squirrels and
for-
stuff, and then he has disease.
You should make a video where Hat Guy is foraging for mushrooms.
He's foraging in a granola.
drinking his own pee.
In the Oshawa Dog Park, and he can join. Hat Guy should join the Oshawa Dog Park Association Facebook page.
So Adam has a thing he does where he likes to go on groups. I don't even want to say the group because it'll spoil it. But there are like local community groups
in Toronto
that are just a bunch of chodes
It's my favorite because
talking about chody things.
There's a
get
lot of
so
insufferable
offended.
people.
Insufferable chodes.
There's one in where Jesse lives, in Jesse's neighborhood, and I asked to join. And
South Park is where I live.
South Park. So there's one for the South Park
Gonna have himself a time.
associate, and it's so funny reading people's comments because they're just
Chodes.
total chodes. Like, oh my God. And you're like, I can't believe, like, somebody complaining about finding one dog poo in the dog park. If you go to the dog park with your dog, inevitably there's going to be a dog poo in there. Someone is in caps lock writing on the association's wall going, I can't believe this. This is an outrage. Lady, it's a dog park and people are lazy. Really? That's what you're upset about?
Also, odds are the person who did that is not in this Facebook group.
That's a good point. If they're not,
Because the people in this Facebook group are people like you who go about friggin' dog poop.
how much did you pay for this player to play for your team? Millions.
Millions. Millions.
Anyway, it's
And
my favorite thing.
There's an Oshawa
Thing.
dog park one. It is not nearly as bad.
Well,
But
yeah.
It is
It's-
funny. There is a little bit of a... What's the town from Pretty Little Liars again? Ravenswood?
Yeah. Here's what you want to
little
do.
bit
Never
Ravenswood.
seen an episode of Pretty Little Liars. Please don't reference.
Okay, think about your city or your county, wherever you are. Think about the most pretentious place in your particular city or county.
And
okay?
I'll make it a Facebook
And
group.
then find the Facebook page pertaining to that. Trust me, hours and hours of entertainment. It's almost as good as the misconnection section on Craigslist.
Oh.
Almost as
People
good.
still use Craigslist.
Oh, yeah.
Is it better or worse than Mike.com?
Oh, way better.
Way better?
Mike.com is just indignant crap. I hate them. And that is a strong
Someone
word, but I
left
do.
a poop in the
was
dog park.
And here's what nobody's saying about it.
No, wait. Someone left something in the dog park, and when I saw it, my jaw dropped.
That's a good one too. You will not believe the reaction to, people. Someone dropped the thing and you won't believe what they said next.
If there's a ... in your title because it's too long,
You'll
fuck whatever you posted.
Yeah,
I'm not
it's
clicking.
clickbait. Can you? I want you to imagine that you work at Mike.com and you have to tell people that you work on that site, and they ask you, you're at dinner.
Why do you want people to imagine
You're
they
at dinner.
suck?
You're at dinner. Okay, so Steve, we're at dinner. We're on a date. We're a fabulously well-dressed, good-looking couple, and we're on a date. And I go, you ask me. What do I do?
What do you do?
I work at Mike.com. No, don't walk out yet. Steve just walked out. No, you don't know what Mike.com is.
Oh,
Gee,
what's that?
How do you explain Mike.com? Well, we take everyday situations and we find the angle that outrages people the most. We try to make people mad. Now they take all the stuff that you would expect to be mad about. Donald Trump's latest racist statement. Of course, they're going to run that stuff. But then they take stuff that isn't a problem and make it a problem.
Here it is. Okay, we've just sat down at our restaurant for our date. I work at Mike.com.
Oh, you work at Mike. Okay, what do you need me to do?
Hey, it's good to finally meet you.
It's great to meet you too. Oh yeah, we're shaking hands on camera. Okay.
I know.
So what do you do,
This
Steve?
is job interview.
We've just met on Tinder, and your profile says you like your dog and hockey.
He's great. Yeah,
and your clothes. You enjoy your clothes.
Oh, definitely. All
You're
for free.
Also married, but it's good that you're here.
Okay.
Yeah. So what do you do, Steve?
I write for a website.
Well, what website's that? That seems like a cool job. It's like a dream.
Yeah, I know, this whole blogger thing, but it's actually, it's a fairly sized website. We get good traffic.
Okay, all right.
It's called Mike.com. Have you ever heard of it?
Mike, like Mike a guy or Mike like a microphone?
Like a microphone, M-I-C, yeah.
So what do you write about, media or Mike? Or do you write about microphones?
A wide variety of things.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would you say? How would you describe it?
Like what's a Mike.com article like?
Yeah.
Okay, well, sorry. Before I tell you that, let me just read this menu I have in front of me, okay? Oh my God, fucking look at this shit. Look at that shit.
I'm looking at the menu.
See how you just read that? That's a Mike.com article. What I do?
That was really well done.
I go, look at this shit, and you look at that shit, and haha, I got to click.
Wow. Steve Dangle, everybody.
It should be called lookattheshit.com.
Look at is that registered?
Look at that. Can you please type in
lookattheshit.com? Because I want to start a website that directly mirrors everything Mike.com does.
Lookattheshit.com.
That is actually a website, and the category, because it's blocked on our servers, the category for the reason it's blocked is pornography.
Oh, of course. Oh.
I bet it's just poo.
Oh.
No, everything at our office, everything is listed under pornography. No, everything is.
Oh.
No,
I've seen some other.
I've looked at Bro Bible articles, and this is pornography.
E-bombs roll,
everything's pornography.
Jaden Smith, our gender fluid bae, has no time for gendered clothes.
Is that a Mike.com?
That's an actual thing that exists.
Listen.
Okay.
If you have gender fluid clothes, good for you. Good.
He's our gender fluid bae.
Is there a section?
I'm wearing a shirt that my girlfriend could wear. That is a gender fluid piece of clothing. It's a button-up shirt.
Totally.
It is. I don't know why this is such a big deal.
Can I give a shout out? I want to do a shout out.
I hate it. I hate it so much.
I have a friend who has a podcast.
Oh?
His name is Clay. We went to Ryerson together. Mm-hmm. He's really cool. And he has a new podcast. I think there's only 5 or 6 episodes up. But it's called Identities. And you can find it at identitiespodcast.podbean.com. Pod spelled like pod, bean spelled like bean. The kinds that give you farts.
Okay.
Once again, identitiespodcast.podbean.com. And I was on it. So if you're done listening to this podcast, guess what? Listen to another one of the Steve Dangle podcasts and then listen to my friend's podcast where he talks to me about me.
How about, I don't understand, Steve, the episodes. How many episodes were there?
5 or 6, I think.
Okay, so you won't. Is it a you won't believe number 5 or you won't believe number 6?
Oh well, you won't believe number 6.
Oh, okay, because you're on 6.
I think so.
So you won't believe it. Okay, I just want.
I'm one of the first ones he's done. Is what I'm trying to say.
Well,
also, it's good and not shitty.
We're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna wrap it up.
In this loophole.
Are you down on Mike.com? Oh my God.
I just can't get out.
What also amazes me is the length, the depth of the detail in there. They're so long.
I'm just looking at the reasons, the 14 scary things that could happen if Donald Trump becomes president.
Well, that I can see.
Yeah.
Now they probably have a legitimate.
Why 14?
I just don't know why you got to build a list like this and you can't just write.
Without reading
too
it,
round, man. 15's too round.
Without reading it, at least half a dozen of those suck ass.
One of them is titled "Hope you enjoy your measles."
No, at least half a dozen of those.
No!
Wait, what?
Stop it! No!
That's what they legit wrote.
See, here's the thing. This is what bugs me. There are legitimate issues in the world, and sites like this water those issues down. Gender fluidity, real issue. Websites like Mike.com, watering down the issue. Watering down the actual issue.
It makes it so that whenever a subject gets brought up, you go, ugh. And it's not a subject that you're supposed to go to.
No, it's something that you should invest time in that and talk about and really have a real discourse about. Sites like this are going, I want your click, and that's all I'm doing.
Listen to how they wrote one of the other ones. Steve,
I hate this so much. I hate this.
Oh my God, I got lightheaded.
Steve, do you want to read this?
This is a title.
Okay.
Of one of their points.
On the Donald Trump 14 things?
Yes.
How many of these suck?
Suck ass. Yes.
Suck ass, sorry.
Would you like me to read the title?
Yeah, I would.
I believe this is number 10.
The Department of Education is just bye.
Hold on. No. One more time, please.
The Department of Education is just bye, period. Where do I fucking start?
Can we take
Where
over?
do I start?
Can we take
and
over?
Please, more importantly, where do I end?
Can we ask?
Where do I end with this?
Can we take over? Can we ask Justin Fisher to take over the LeafsNation.com and just Mike.com all their headlines for a day? Or he would do it. We don't even need to take over. Justin would so do that. Can we
you
bug him to do
imagine
that?
if, okay, here's a headline. The Leafs draft Mitch Marner 4th overall.
Okay, all right.
You want me to Mike.com?
Please.
Well, maybe not Mike.com, but every viral thing you see on shitty Facebook. The Leafs made a pick. It was 4th overall. And when I saw who they picked, to see the rest of the fucking title.
Yeah, my jaw dropped.
Yeah.
That would be it.
Well, what kills me is stuff like this and like Viral Nova and all these things that come out. People just share them. And the stories are 4 and 5 weeks old.
You know how many...
Or completely misrepresented, and nobody questions the source of the site.
You know how many people I love and cherish dearly I've just like unfollowed on Twitter and Facebook? Family members. Like, I'm like, I can't. I like talking to you. I am glad to enjoy time with you in person, but the stuff you share is just really stupid and I can't deal with it.
I had a person close to me share something along the lines of, you can have your rights to a particular group of people, but this is a family member, but don't infringe on my rights to be religious.
By the way,
and I said,
oh, okay, what did you say? Sorry.
So a member of my family wrote on their post and said, "Really? ? Are you insane?" Because this person has never been to church. I don't even think they're baptized. B, the thing that they shared it from because they didn't look at it was a fucking racist Facebook page, and I'm embarrassed by this, but it's true.
So I have neighbors. They're not on my street, but they're near where I live. And, I walk by their house all the time when I walk Iggy. They have a sign that's still fucking up, by the way. It's March. That says Happy Holidays on it, and Happy Holidays is scratched out, and underneath it says Merry Christmas. And this is the same family that year-round has shit all over their lawn. Their kids' bikes, toys, tools, and all other kinds of shit that just make your house and street look terrible. And a few times, I don't know what the odds of this are, I've walked by and they're yelling at each other, like having out of
my
the
God.
door.
The yelling at your partner starter
their
pack.
Kids. The wife is yelling at the husband. The husband is yelling at the wife.
Oh, that's always great.
But I knew that about them, and I knew they left their shit on the lawn part about them. And then when they put the sign up, I'm like, I've never been less surprised of anything in my entire life. And then I walked by it a month later. I'm like, yep, that's not surprising. And now it's almost spring.
It's embarrassing. And these could be these people that share these things, and everybody has had it. Everybody has had it. Where you don't look at, these are genuinely good people. The person that I'm referring to is one of my favorite people in the whole world.
No,
but
here's what fucks it up. No, they're not. If they post shit like that, they're not.
They're not. But that's the thing, is that they don't. I feel like sometimes they don't even understand.
Like, you didn't even need to know
that. There's such a good person that posted this.
It is true. Like,
they're a good person.
You're not an asshole, so why are you posting asshole things?
Boom. Exactly. You're not. Why? Anyway.
When was the last time?
I might get into trouble for this. I don't know. I might get another.
From who? Dicks?
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
Adam, the only people who are going to be mad about you yelling about dicks are dicks. Who cares? It's okay if you upset some people. Some people are worth upsetting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't it true?
No.
No. Oh, you're right.
It's just,
Don't
it's
upset anybody
it
ever.
is, I honestly
You're right.
wonder if social media is going to be our generation's mullet. You know?
Oh,
No,
like
'cause
this is
social
going to
media's not
stop?
gonna go away.
Like, no, as in like, we are all embarrassing ourselves to the point where there is no return. We look at our parents' wedding photos from the 80s and go, look at those shoulder pads, Mom. Why did you use all those curlers? Why is your hair all teased? Dad, party in the back? Are you
Flock
kidding
of
me?
seagulls?
You were going bald anyway. This is one that I don't know that we can come back from. And that's what's scary to me. We are so misleading each other right now. It's gross.
Pete Holmes is a stand-up comedian, and he has a bit like, how is anyone going to run for president?
Oh, there's not.
Yeah.
Senator
Who's gonna be
O'Neill, who was O'Neilly 19?
Yeah. Just bring up their old
you don't
MySpace
recall?
page.
Oh, you don't recall? You don't recall?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Pete Holmes, by the way, is one of the funniest stand-ups I've ever seen live.
Yeah.
Like crying, laughing the whole time, the whole audience. It looks like the
Yager
Leafs.
scored an empty net.
Yeah, the Leafs are losing to the Florida Panthers. Well,
Not like St. Louis.
not like St. Louis. Well, actually, I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, I don't know if
Yager
St. Louis-
scored that goal almost going to the bench. Is he just Forrest Gump at this point?
Pretty much.
Is he actually
Yeah.
this good, or is he just like inventing the smiley face T-shirt by accident at this point?
I think he's posting selfies at the gym at 1 a.m. on a Saturday night after a game. He's actually this good.
Did you see about how he kicked his Coke habit? Not Coke as in cocaine, but Coke as in Coca-Cola.
I'm amazed that he had it ever.
He used to drink like 7 cans of Coke a
Whoa!
day. Yeah,
Really?
And then he what for Lent actually for Lent last year he said I'm gonna not drink it, and he went from 7 cans to 0, and he hasn't had one since.
Is it weird that his production has gone up?
And for this Lent he gave up chocolate.
Wow, Jaromir Jagr and I gave up the same thing for Lent. Mm-hmm. I hate it.
Because he replaced his sugar addiction with chocolate instead of Coca-Cola. So now he just gave up the chocolate.
I mean, I've never put my baby teeth in chocolate and have them dissolve for a science project, so I'm going to go with chocolate.
Very true. Much better for you. Mm-hmm. Hey, we're going to wrap it up.
Let's do a what we learned today.
What did we learn?
Chocolate is good for you, but it can also be ableist.
Yeah. April 2nd, Grand Rapids, Marley's, us, you,
Switching lanes.
SeatGeek.com. Go get your tickets. What else?
200 miles on the dash.
Okay. I thought we learned more than this. Can you guys come on, we gotta learn something else.
I don't think so.
I learned Jesse is just bye.
Yeah, education system is just bye. New York Times op-ed.
This podcast is just bye.
Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE. The Steve Dangle Podcast. Brought to you by Panago Pizza. Order at panago.com and stuff your face with deliciousness.